Hello everyone, dear community. I warmly welcome you once again to this new tool test. It's great to have you back with us. Today, as you can see, we have a relatively small battery-powered device from Bosch, but it can literally set fire under your seat. As you can see, we're talking about the new cordless heat gun from Bosch, specifically the GHG 18V-50. In today's video, we'll take a detailed look at what this little blower has to offer, whether it's any good, and who'd benefit from investing in it. So let's get started right after the intro, but if you haven't already done so, please quickly subscribe to the channel for free and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. You can find the current prices of this gem down in the video description. Thank you very much for your support, and without further ado, let's get started after the intro. In today's video, we'll be focusing on the compact 18-volt cordless heat gun from Bosch, the GHG 18V-50. We'll take a close look at what this little device has to offer and whether it's worth it. As you can see externally, the product box of this cordless heat gun is not necessarily large, and naturally, the device and accessories inside are also compact. Currently, we have the cordless heat gun itself in front of us in the solo version. That means the battery and similar items are not included. Nevertheless, I'm very curious to see what additional accessories are included. As you can see, on the front side, we have a large image of the blower itself, followed by its name and abbreviation. Additionally, there are a few preliminary specifications about the device here, and on the back, we have a few more key details. I'll address these in detail later in the video. Therefore, I'd say let's take a look at what's included in the package. And this is what it looks like on the inside, as predicted. There's not much to see here, as you can tell. In the middle, of course, we have the actual Bosch cordless heat gun. Right behind it is the user manual for the device, and not to forget, a small bag with accessories. So, what's inside the bag? As you can see, there are two corresponding nozzles that go well with the cordless heat gun. That's all we have in this configuration from the product box. In the solo version, we get the actual battery-powered cordless heat gun, all the paperwork including the user manuals, and last but not least, as you can see, two corresponding nozzles are also included. Admittedly, this is not a wide variety, but looking at the nozzles, they cover most of the applications for sure. However, I'll also address this later on. What's missing at this point, of course, is the external part, meaning the battery and charger. And for that, I've selected two Procore batteries, a small 4 Ah one and a large 8 Ah one. Let's see which one is the better choice for this cordless heat gun. So, now it's finally time for us to take a detailed look at the new Bosch battery-powered cordless heat gun. As you can see, it's still a bit sluggish in terms of packaging, but in terms of construction and implementation, I can already say that the device gives a very high quality and well-made impression. In terms of construction, it definitely lives up to the Bosch standards. We have clean edges, smooth transitions, and overall the device feels very solid and of high quality. Additionally, the blower itself, as I tap on it here, is made entirely of plastic. I have to say in this regard, it doesn't make a bad impression at all. On the contrary, this makes the blower extremely lightweight, at least for now, without the battery. Let's verify this briefly. That's why I have the scale positioned here, and I'd say let's start with the solo device, the blower without the battery, as you can see. This weighs only about 600 grams, so as I said, extremely lightweight. You can feel it when you pick it up, and accordingly we also need a battery. So I'd say let's start with the small 5 Ah Procore battery. With this, we have a gross weight of 1150 grams, and with a large 8 Ah battery, for those who want to work for a longer period, we have a gross weight of 1590 grams. It depends on how long you want to use the blower accordingly until the battery runs out. You have to decide between these two or other Bosch GBA batteries. For me personally, the small 4Ah Procore is sufficient because the device remains extremely lightweight and handy. I must say that handling-wise, nothing has really changed with this battery. It's a different story with the large Procore battery. The 8Ah add some weight, shifting the center of gravity noticeably downwards. Regarding the small 4Ah Procore, I have to say that in my opinion, the blower still feels very comfortable to handle. As for the battery life with this particular battery, I can't say anything yet. This will be determined shortly in the test. In addition to the weight of just around 1150 grams, including the Procore 4Ah battery, the blower is not only super lightweight, but also very comfortable to handle, thanks in part to the built-in handle. As you can see, the handle itself not only looks ergonomic, but also feels that way. This means that both right-handed and left-handed users can grip the handle comfortably and effectively guide or hold the tool. Despite its light weight, the handle is also entirely rubberized, as you can see. This means there's a large rubberized area in front for the fingers and at the back for the palm, providing a good grip and high slip resistance, which significantly improves the blower's handling. Directly above the handle are the two main controls of this battery-powered cordless heat gun. Firstly, there's the trigger for the index finger, used to activate the blower. Secondly, in red, there's the safety lock to prevent accidental activation of the blower. Regarding the controls, I have to say that there's nothing to complain about in my opinion. They're easily accessible and easy to operate. As I mentioned before, the trigger's used to turn the tool on and off, and it can only be activated if the tool is unlocked. To unlock it, you simply press the small pin either to the left or right. The trigger itself is a simple on-off switch. It does not regulate the temperature or airflow, it simply turns the tool on and off. Additionally, the safety lock above it is designed to allow easy operation and activation of the tool for both right-handed and left-handed users. The next and final control of this cordless heat gun is located on the back, as you can see. It's the temperature control. The Bosch Cordless Heat Gun GHG 18V-50 has a sufficiently sized switch on the back for selecting the two temperature levels. That's right, this cordless heat gun has only two temperature settings. This means you can choose between 300 and a maximum of 500 degrees Celsius. This already refers to the maximum temperature, as this cordless heat gun reaches a maximum of 500 degrees Celsius in the second setting on the back. I'd say that for a cordless heat gun, this is definitely more than sufficient. And if you don't need the full 500 degrees in certain applications, you can easily switch it down to the 300 degrees. In this context, it's worth mentioning that the cordless heat gun is able to heat up from 0 to a maximum temperature in a very short time. To be more precise, as specified by Bosch, it takes only 6 seconds for this blower to reach the maximum temperature of 300 degrees Celsius. Personally, I find this quite impressive. However, once you activate the blower, you quickly notice that only a small amount of hot air comes out from the front, which means it would take forever to accomplish certain applications with this cordless heat gun. But this is intentionally designed by Bosch to achieve the goal of reaching the maximum temperature of 300 degrees within a very short time, i.e. within 6 seconds, which is quite significant. This means that if we were to blow air at a maximum force right from the beginning, it would take much longer to reach 300 degrees. That's why the blower starts with low airflow initially, and once the maximum temperature is reached, the airflow gradually increases until it reaches a maximum volume of 175 liters per minute. As you can see, the air intakes are located on the left and right sides of the device, positioned towards the back with two small slots. The air is sucked in through these slots, passes through the device and the heating coils, and then comes out at the front heated to 300 or 500 degrees. Apart from the temperature control at the back, there isn't much else to see at the head of the machine. At the front, we have the corresponding attachment for the two included nozzles, and also in black, there's a heat protection cover. This cover can be removed by gently twisting and reattached. This prevents accidental contact with the hot metal. It would be extremely dangerous at 300 or 500 degrees, and those who say they don't need this part will have a significantly narrower head in this specific area. As mentioned earlier, the solo version of the Bosch GHG 18V-50 already comes with two small nozzles. We have a typical reduction nozzle for fine work and a reflector nozzle which allows softening and shaping of plastic, PE pipes, and similar materials. I'd say that with these two nozzles, the majority of tasks are covered. For those who need additional nozzles, they can be purchased separately. It's worth mentioning that the nozzles from other Bosch heat guns, including the corded ones, can be used without any problems. The assembly itself is admittedly more than unspectacular. The blower has a total of 4 small cutouts on the front, each at 90-degree intervals. In contrast, the nozzles have 2 opposing prongs, allowing them to be mounted in 4 different positions, rotated by 90 degrees each. There isn't much more to say about this point. No frills, no gimmicks, just a functional design. Let's move on to the bottom. Here, as shown before, we have the chosen ProCore battery, the 18-volt battery with 4 ampere hours, as we need an 18-volt battery for this cordless heat gun. In this case, whether it's a ProCore or a regular GBA battery, I chose the ProCore because it's compact, while the larger ProCore offers 8 ampere hours for extended runtime. The battery is inserted from the front as usual, securely and reliably. No complaints in this regard, as we would expect from Bosch. Above the battery, there's also a built-in LED which is directed towards the nozzle and provides good illumination at the work area even in the dark. I'd say we should briefly take a look at this feature in the dark before moving on to the practical test of this cordless heat gun. So, let's turn off the studio light and turn on the blower. As you can see, the built-in LED is clearly aligned with the nozzle. I must say that the blower itself, or the LED, has a nice warm white tone. In terms of illumination, angle, and overall impression, the LED is definitely good. Alright, it's time to thoroughly examine the battery blower in the practical test. Let's see what it has to offer, how long it takes to reach the maximum temperature, and of course, how well the battery life performs with this small battery. I'm very excited to see what the blower really has to offer. I hope you are too. So sit back and let's start the practical test. And so let's move on to the practical test of the Bosch cordless heat gun, the GHG 18V-50. Let's see what this compact device is really capable of. For the test, I used a large 8 ampere hour battery that I had fully charged beforehand. Additionally, I used the device in the highest power level, number 2, which is supposed to reach a maximum temperature of 500 degrees Celsius. We'll soon find out if that's true. In addition, I also used the included attachments and the thermal imaging camera previously featured on this channel for this purpose. I started by testing how long the blower takes to reach its maximum temperature. As stated by Bosch, the device only requires 6 seconds to heat up. I can confirm these results from the practical test. I must admit, I was quite surprised that the blower could reach such a high temperature within seconds. Compared to other cordless heat guns, this result is quite impressive, as other comparable products take significantly longer to reach the maximum temperature. Therefore, the cordless heat gun requires no long warm-up time and is ready for use immediately in practice. Next, I tested the GHG 18V-50 in terms of continuous operation. For this, I used the reduction nozzle and attempted to remove paint residues at the highest setting, which posed no problem for the blower. The only drawback is that the blower lacks a lock, so the switch to activate the blower needs to be held continuously. While this can be slightly annoying in the long run, it's still manageable. After a total of 5 minutes of continuous use, I paused the work and examined the results. Due to the high temperatures and good performance, the blower was able to easily remove the paint residues. The large 8 ampere hour battery, however, still had 3 out of 5 bars remaining after this endurance test. The only downside of the cordless heat gun is that it lacks a cool air setting, which means it takes relatively long to cool down before it can be stored again. In my opinion, this is an aspect that could be improved. Overall, I must say that I'm quite satisfied with the performance of the cordless heat gun. The device reaches its maximum temperature in a very short time and can maintain it consistently. The only thing I would wish for at this point are some additional features such as a cool air setting or an automatic nozzle release. Now it's your turn. What do you think of the Bosch cordless heat gun? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and that wraps up this video. If you liked it, please show your support with a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for free and activate the notification bell to never miss a new review video. The current prices can be found in the video description below. Thank you so much for your support, and until next time, take care. Goodbye.